Hot diggity dog. Do we ever have an opportunity right here, right now, to pull some magic out of the hat of our consciousness? Anyone in for a delightful surprise of an intuition, of an awareness, something that you hadn't been thinking of because you've been busy doing or thinking about something else? Ha! Our subject this afternoon is on being counterintuitive to what you see going on around you, what you think about, what you're feeling about, your mortal desires, because really there's only two express trains happening in this creation. The outbound express leading you to unfulfillment, and the inbound express leading you to joy and happiness. So really, if you're on the outbound express, you're going to need to do the opposite. And if you're in the inbound express, you can forget about the opposite because you're moving, hello Chris Nagy, you're moving in towards your true soul center, and that's where we want to learn to be. So what is it then? You know, Oscar Wilde said, you know, there's only one thing worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. You know, there's only one thing worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. It's not what you see on the outside that has any real juice. It's what you are deciphering from what you see on the outside. And if something you see on the outside is not, hello Mickey Light, hello David, if it's something on the outside that is making you feel bad, is making you think something is wrong, is disturbing the force within you, know that if you spot it, you got it. It's not about the outside. The outside is the mirror of your thoughts and feelings and consciousness and beliefs. It is an exact replica of what you guys are dreaming about and thinking about. So, sweep under your own doormat first. Let's do some sweeping under our own doormat and take care of some things that need to have a counterintuitive attack to it. You see, the more you seek outwardly, the less you're going to find inwardly. The more you seek happiness on the outside, the less happiness you're going to find on the inside. And Yogananda said that if you keep feeding your senses, you're never going to be satisfied. But if you never feed your senses, you will be ever satisfied. Also, be in the candy store, but don't touch the candy. See, it's in a counterintuitive world, isn't it? Or, to move forward, be still. I'm telling you, so I'm going to ask you one question. One question. Well, actually, before the question, I'm going to ask you two options. That you have really two options. One is to go out into this outer world and do what you need to do. Go out and do it. Get it done so you can have the experience. Or use the wisdom to know that you don't have to go out and do it, and save yourself a lot of pain and suffering. Because wisdom is the anticipation of consequences. You see? So you have two options. Go out on the outbound express and continue to have human experiences, I think, until you are absolutely, completely, devastatedly miserable. Okay? And when that happens, now you have the wisdom that maybe that outbound express, and you looking all around, comparing yourself with others, once you do that, that is a spiritual suicide when you compare yourself with somebody else. And so why don't we use a little wisdom now, anticipate the consequences of what you're doing, what you're choosing, what you're thinking, what is keeping your mind in a restless mode and your emotions in an upset mode. And let's ask this question. What are you willing to put off today for a greater benefit later? What are you willing to put off from what is a human way to go about it? Keep buzzing around, doing sensory experiences, thinking all the time, looking outside, distracted, or What if you held back on that and turned and took the inbound express, and to see what the comparison would be in your life if you decided to do that? To look more on the inside, to take that inbound express. So for that to happen, there's going to be 3 very key things that we need to do, all of us. Hello, Dennis. Hey, Dennis. What you up to, pal? And Daniel, good to see you, my friend. Oh, we're just talking about how incredibly counterintuitive we need to be in this world if we're going to have any sort of a happy life, a more consistent life, a life that is growing us and evolving us rather than keeping us stuck in the mud, you know? If we look outside, we just dream. If we look inside, we're going to awake. My first months in the ashram was looking outside and comparing myself with all the other new monks, and with how the mentor, the house brother, was treating all those other monks. For some reason, he didn't give me the time of day. He didn't give me any notice, any attention. And this went on for quite a few months, and it really disturbed me greatly. One day, I saw him disciplining one of the monks he was teaching how to cook with mindfulness. I think they were preparing an omelet. And the monk was just not really focused. And so he popped that monk right in the third eye. And I saw that happen, and I thought, man, I would love to get hit in the third eye. I would love to get any kind of attention I could, you know? And so one day I had the nerve to go up and ask this counselor, a house brother, who was my counselor for 18 years. I asked him, why don't you giving me any more attention? Why don't you discipline me? Why don't you tell me what I'm doing wrong? And do you know what he said? You know what he said? He said, you get it, my boy, by not getting it. Whew. I just felt like a bomb went off. I didn't really understand it. I mean, I got it on the inside, and I felt like it was an earth-shattering truth that I needed to hear about myself, that I get it by not getting it. I think you get it by not getting it. I think by you putting off today what you really want, what your sense craving is, what you're just accustomed to because it's a habit, what you have on your agenda because you're a restless little bee, you know, still seeking for some kind of fulfillment outside of yourself. I think it's the same thing for you, my dear, that you get it by not getting it. So I want you to feel very, very blessed, and maybe pull up one thing in your life where you really wanted something, but you still haven't gotten it. And be honest with yourself. Is that making you more and more frustrated? Or is that hinting to you, suggesting to you, that you might turn within and find that what you're looking out there is waiting for you within, because in your soul you have the total fulfillment of everything that the world is distracting and tempting you with to go and out and have a bauble of an experience, to have a cheap thrill that will dissatisfy you. Remember, ever fed these physical senses and looking out and trying to have countless human experiences, never satisfied, but never fed, ever satisfied. All right? Is this worth the time to listen to today? Is this worth your time to be kind of in this vibration that we are in? And letting the wisdom sink in, or whatever come up, and just look at? Because whatever you see out there and you think is right, wrong, or ugly, if you spot it, you got it, baby. Look within. Let's go sweeping under our own doorstep now. Let's clean up our own shop, huh? Let's clean up our own being. We've got a lot of cleanup to do. Physical health. We have mental clarity to achieve. We have emotional intelligence to achieve. Not to mention the devotion that's going to be needed to attract the ultimate divine success of an intimate personal relationship with the divine. Okay? Are you ready to pull out the sweeper? The broom? Huh? Are you ready to look within rather than to look without? Are you willing to choose the wisdom approach rather than having to go through the countless physical human experiences to realize that you can't be happy in those? Yeah. If you spot it, you got it. That's right, David. So I'm going to leave you with 3 key things to do to take the inbound soul express to happiness. 3 key things. 1, if you haven't already, or even if you have, rededicate with a new determination and enthusiasm to have non-negotiable soul time, quiet time, meditation, prayer time, seclusion time every day within yourself, okay? Because without being still, you cannot perceive anything, because everything is chopped up, because your mind is so restless and your emotions is buying into the toy show of this world, and there's so many distractions. Probably you still want to meditate with your cell phone right on your lap. Okay, so key number 1, rededicate. Get a new enthusiasm for that meditation practice, the prayer practice, the quiet practice, sit here now, be still, don't move, all right? The stillness practice and going inside and make that absolute quality time where you look within for the answers, okay? Where you look within for the fulfillment, what we still have habits that are taking us outside to fulfill. You know, those habits that take you outside, those habits that need to be filled in a physical way, they're devastating. You don't realize they leave a melted impression in you. And every time we do them, it goes deeper and creates deeper rut and being a slave to that habit. We don't see that. And so the next day, if you try to do the inbound express, it's harder. It's harder. So we have to watch every thought. We have to watch every action now and choose outbound or inbound, right? Putting off this particular temptation, desire, and for something greater later, because self-control always brings you more happiness, to put it off so you can be happier today, which will make tomorrow even easier, to take a longer journey, a longer trip on the inbound express to soul happiness. Isn't that cool? Hello, Jeannie. Welcome. Jeannie, I think you are on the mindset. Aren't you doing that? I don't know. But if you are, I can't tell you how happy I am to be a friend to you. And I hope you feel the same way, because boy, oh boy, do we need each other's company. Do we need each other's company? We can no longer, what if God's is one of us, just a slob like one of us? We can't slob around anymore. We have to hang around with the people who are really getting it done. I mean, it's not even close to hanging out with people who are going to even question it. We have got to now be with the winners, baby. Yeah, Jeannie. Yeah, Jenny, I am so glad that you are on this stream this morning. I want to do something live on the Mindset too soon, and I will, maybe right after this. But anyway, yeah, hang out. Environment is stronger than willpower, kids. Hang out. The only thing that's keeping you from really being in a next gear up is the environment that you keep. And that might mean that you might have to say bye-bye to some friends who just want to stay where they are. And you can say, well, I love you, but you don't have to hang around with them, okay? So the second key thing is be steady. Be steady. Oh, consistency is a jewel, says Shakespeare. And the tortoise won the race, right? And perseverance is the whole magic of spiritual success. So baby step, every day, be consistent. Unless you are really, really dead, with some kind of, just some healing that's happening through an illness, just every day we have to really feel like there's more enthusiasm to have this quiet time, to go inside, sweep something that isn't positive within us. So when we look out, we see that positive instead of that negative, okay? So be steady. Perseverance is the whole magic of spiritual success. And finally, Finally, the third key for today is forgive and forget the times that you are forgetting to remember the inbound express and you are all caught up in this 3D, HD, heavy delusion, duality, dream delusion that we are in, okay? Would you promise me that? Would you promise me? Hello, Claire. I know, right here, right now, I'm loving this. Right here, right now, I'm loving you, Claire. Would you promise me, kids, that you like a bobbing head doll, you go down and you realize, man, here I go again, you know? Here I go on this outer restless, moving around and dissatisfied kind of thing, and it's just a habit. It's just a real bad habit that's creating more difficulty tomorrow if I continue today to go inside, to turn my attention within. Make it easier on yourself, okay? So if we do go to that outer express, if we do find that we are going to grab for something that we know won't satisfy, but we just have a habit to do it, all right, forgive and forget every time you slip and slide. And just like a bobbing head doll, get right back up. And remember that this is the most important life of ever. And today is the only day, and this moment is the only thing that's real. Okay? So, you ready? You ready to charge it? Thank you. Have an awesome day. I know you will. Ciao for now.